It's time for the Left of Lansing Friday Short with Pat Johnston.
Here's the Friday Short for December 12th of 2025. If any one person here in Michigan and the rest of the country needs even more evidence that MAGA Republicanism is about gutting the working class while feeding their rich corporate donor base, I've got even more evidence for you. I briefly mentioned this story on this week's show, but I must give it more attention here today. The MAGA Republican Michigan State House of Representatives this week, led by Speaker Matt Hall, single-handedly took an axe to block funding designed to help an already struggling working class. Matt Hall and fellow MAGA Republican statist, Republican Bolin of Brighton Township, spearheaded the State House effort to disapprove of some $645 million in spending that was already passed last year when Democrats had power. MAGA Republicans used a procedural maneuver to block the funding and what they're calling much-needed cuts in waste and fraud. They're trying to follow in Elon Musk's failed Doge experiment, which led to no government savings, led to harmful cuts to basic government services and cuts in Medicaid. All the while, Musk walked away with billions in government contracts and his little Doge boys finding themselves nice, cushy little jobs within the Trump regime. Now, in last week's show, I shared with you how results are starting to come in for the RX Kids program in Flint, and the results were outstanding to no one's surprise. The RX Kids program in Flint provides expecting mothers with $1,500 mid-pregnancy and then $500 per month for the baby's 6 through 12 months of life. There's no means testing, there's no slew of requirements and paperwork needed to collect the money. And now one study just released says the RX Kids program in Flint has led to dramatic drops in maltreatment allegations involving children. Dr. Mona Hanna, RX Kids Director, told WKAR in Lansing that direct cash support during pregnancy and infancy isn't just a financial lifeline, it's a powerful public health intervention that protects our youngest children. You know, some would call that a pro-life program, and it's a program that relies on both public and private financing. It's also extending now to other cities and towns across the state in both rural and urban areas. Naturally, Michigan MAGA Republicans canceled $18.5 million RX Kids was slated to receive in the near term, and its staff now is left scrambling. Dr. Hanna says this is not good news. And you know, this program is an economic benefit as well in a myriad of ways, but to Michigan MAGA Republicans who bend their knees to their corporate overlords, and the DeVos family being one of them, they view working-class Michiganders who are struggling in today's Trump economy as lazy and worthless. They are not worth their time. In addition to their blind stupidity, MAGA Republicans canceled clean energy spending to help lower electricity rates and to diversify our economic portfolio in the state, while also creating cleaner air to breathe. Oh, and that means they're also slashing thousands of jobs too. Well done. And within a heartbeat, Matt Hall and Bolin canceled already approved funding for work projects providing assistance to struggling families. Same with funding for veteran services, cancer services, and mental health services. And Matt Hall and Bolin and MAGA Michigan Republicans canceled some $6 million designed for education support in Flint for kids who are still dealing with the aftermath of having lead in their drinking water some 11 years ago. Now, Matt Hall declared the Flint water crisis is over since, he doesn't have to live with the repercussions of what the Republican Rick Snyder administration did to the people of Flint. Rick Snyder, by the way, is one of the big donors who helped Matt Hall and MAGA Republicans take control of the state house. But for all of Matt Hall's bluster about waste and abuse and transparency, this move to block $645 million was done within minutes and without any discussion or debate in the state house. And that checks out because MAGA Republicans believe in authoritarianism. That's why they constantly praise their dear leader and their daddy. They don't believe that people should have a say or really know what's going on with their government. Oh, and before I finish, MAGA Republicans blocked funding for a charter school accountability database, which is high on the priority list for Matt Hall, Bolin, and, of course, Betsy DeVos. They want taxpayer money funding their for-profit charter schools, but unlike public schools, they don't want you knowing what these charter schools and their rich donors are doing with your money. Transparency. And again, that's in line with what happens on a daily basis within the Trump regime in Washington, D.C., is it not? Working-class Michiganders are struggling in this Trump economy, especially in Michigan as tariffs continue to drag us down further. MAGA Michigan Republicans, though, they don't care because corporate and government corruption is their game, just like their dear leaders. And considering how chummy she was with Matt Hall and dear leader a few months ago in the Oval Office, I'd assume that Democratic Gretchen Whitmer is seething and is outraged at being pushed around by MAGA Republicans. And as I speak right now, will take to the microphones and give a scathing and stirring speech denouncing them right now. Well, I'm not holding my breath. leftoflansing@gmail.com is the best way to reach me. Follow me on Blue Sky, Facebook, the Gram, and Twitter. Subscribe to the show on the YouTube, and subscribe and give a good 5-star review of Michigan's premier progressive podcast. Go Lions and take the battle to them.